She left. Maybe she said she needed time. Maybe she said it wasn't working. Or maybe she just disappeared. And now your mind is spinning. What happened? What should I say? How do I get her back? But here's the truth. You don't get her back by chasing. You don't get her back by begging, texting, explaining, or proving. You get her back by becoming untouchable, by doing the one thing she didn't expect. You disappear too into silence, into focus, into discipline. Because a woman doesn't regret leaving a man who pleads. She regrets leaving a man who evolves without her. The man who stops reacting and starts rising. And if you do this calmly, quietly, relentlessly, she will feel it. She will notice. And when her illusion fades, she will start to remember your value not by what you said, but by what you became. If you're ready to shift from desperation to dominance, like this video, subscribe, hit the bell, and comment below. I rise without her. That's why she returns. Let's begin. Number 1, the moment you stop chasing, she starts feeling you again. Stop chasing her. Stop explaining yourself. Stop hoping she'll change her mind because of your words, your texts, your visible sadness. The more you try to prove your worth after she's gone, the more invisible you become in her eyes. And here's the truth you don't want to hear but must confront. She didn't walk away because you weren't enough. She walked away because you lost the very energy that made her feel you were more than enough. That energy is masculine self-control. It's what Stoicism teaches you to reclaim. You might believe love should fight, plead, convince. But that belief is rooted in desperation, not in strength. Real love, the kind that holds power, doesn't grasp, it releases. And if she ever comes back, it's not because you chased her, it's because you stopped, because you became, because you transformed. You're standing at the edge of two roads. One leads to begging, explaining, overthinking, checking your phone every hour, wondering if she's thinking of you. The other road is silent, hard, lonely at first, but it leads to something rare, a man who doesn't need her back to be whole again, a man who learns to love fate, even this loss, a man who turns pain into presence. This is the Stoic path. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept whatever comes woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs." Right now, the thing you hate the most, losing her, is the thing shaping the man you were meant to become. It's not the breakup that will define you, it's how you respond to it. When you disappear from her world, not to play games but to rebuild your own, something changes. At first, she feels relief, then confusion, then curiosity, then uncertainty. Why aren't you chasing? Why aren't you fighting for her? Is it because you've found someone else? Is it because you've changed? That uncertainty is powerful, but only if it's real. This isn't about tricks. It's about truth. You let go, not because you're giving up, but because you're finally showing up for yourself. You stop texting not to punish her, but to protect your dignity. You stop explaining not to appear strong, but because you realize strength is silent. You stop appearing in her world because you're finally showing up in your own. And if she returns, you'll meet her not as the man who begged, but as the man she never thought she could lose. You become that man not by watching her stories, but by writing your own. This is your story now, not hers. You don't know the ending, but you do control the next page. And the next page begins with one powerful act. Stepping back not to retreat, but to rise. Now comment below, I control my mind, no one else does. Number 2, the most desperate move that pushes her further away. You feel it in your chest, that aching urge to reach out, to explain everything, to pour your heart out in a message so long it could be a novel. You want her to know you're hurting. You want her to know you still care. But here's the reality. Every text you send, every sad photo you post, every attempt to get her attention after the breakup, it doesn't pull her closer. It pushes her further. You've been conditioned to believe that honesty, vulnerability, and fighting for love are noble gestures. But when they're driven by desperation, they become repellent. Why? Because what you think is love, she sees as weakness. She sees a man who's lost his center. A man who doesn't know how to sit in silence, how to let go, how to stand alone. You tell yourself, if I just say the right thing, she'll understand. But she doesn't want to understand. She wants to feel something she no longer feels: respect. And here's the hard truth you don't want to hear. She didn't leave because of one fight. She left because something inside her stopped admiring you. It wasn't about the argument. It was about the energy, about how you responded to conflict, about how you clung when she needed distance, about how you talked when silence would have said more. Stoicism teaches this one brutal but beautiful law. No one can hurt you unless you let them. When you act from pain, you hand her the power. You make her the source of your identity. And the more she senses that, the less she can respect you. Look at your past actions. That late-night message, that emotional confession, that Instagram story you posted hoping she'd see it. Those weren't romantic, they were admissions of neediness. They told her, "You still have control over me." And that's exactly why she stayed away. If you want to shift the energy, you don't explain anything, you vanish. Not as a tactic, but as a necessity. You give her the gift of space, and you give yourself the gift of becoming a man who doesn't need approval, doesn't beg, doesn't react. This isn't silence to make her miss you. This is silence because you refuse to betray your soul again. Because now you understand love doesn't beg, it becomes. So the next time your fingers itch to write her a long apology, or your mind convinces you to just check in, stop, breathe, remember who you are or who you're becoming. Say nothing, feel everything, grow through it, and let her wonder why you suddenly became a man who doesn't chase. Now, speak out and comment below. I control my mind, no one else does. Number 3. The Stoic Secret to Reclaiming Her Respect. You don't win her back by chasing her, you win her back by disappearing, not out of spite, not to manipulate, but because the path of the Stoic man demands that you walk alone before you are worthy of being followed. The breakup felt like a collapse. Your mind begged for answers, your heart pleaded for resolution, but everything you tried, every message, every apology, every sad photo, only made her colder. And it's not because she's cruel, it's because she needed to see something in you that you weren't showing: self-respect. You want her to feel what you feel, to know the pain she left behind, but she won't. Not when you're still orbiting her world. Women don't respond to words, they respond to energy, and nothing shifts her emotional compass more than your silence paired with your transformation. So you vanish not because you're playing a game, but because you have work to do. Deep work. Stoic work. You stop checking her stories. You stop writing texts you'll never send. You stop building imaginary conversations in your head. And you start building yourself. Quietly, relentlessly. You read. You train. You reconnect with the parts of you that were dying during the relationship. You stop being the man who needed her and become the man who never did, but still chose to love her. That's the paradox. That's the magnetic force she doesn't understand, but feels. You are no longer a man reacting to pain. You are a man responding to fate, amor fati. You accept the breakup. You stop resisting. You see it not as a tragedy, but as an invitation to grow, to evolve, to burn down the weak version of yourself and build something sacred from the ashes. She may check in, she may wonder, she may not. None of that matters anymore, because now the question isn't, will she come back? It's, will the man I'm becoming even want her back? This is not about her anymore. This is about you, about your soul, about living with dignity, purpose, and peace. You don't become irresistible by proving your worth. You become irresistible by realizing you never had to. So let go of the outcome. Embrace the solitude. Become a man who walks through fire without blinking. Now comment below. I rise through silence, not through begging. Number 4. Her mind after the breakup and how you shift it without saying a word. She didn't walk away because of one fight. She didn't leave because you forgot an anniversary. She left because something deeper was missing, something even she may not be able to name. And now, while you're gone and building yourself back up, something unexpected is happening inside her mind. At first, there's relief. She thinks the silence is peace. She's glad you didn't beg or text or show up outside her job. That initial space feels like freedom to her, but only at first. Soon, curiosity creeps in. Weeks pass. Her phone stays quiet. She glances at your profile, nothing new, no sad quotes, no obvious rebound, and that's when she starts to feel it. Confusion. You see, she expected you to act like every other man, desperate, apologetic, emotional, but instead, you disappeared into the shadows. And that silence speaks louder than any text you could have sent. Her curiosity deepens into discomfort. She wonders what's happening. Did you give up? Did you move on? Are you better without her? Her assumptions start to crumble. And as they fall, your new image begins to rise. She talks to mutual friends. She sees you in a tagged photo, stronger, sharper, smiling. Not faking it, actually becoming it. She tries not to react, but her chest tightens. She replays memories. She questions her decision. This is where it shifts, because your absence is not void. It's not emptiness, it's presence, just not for her. And that shift flips the entire emotional script in her mind. She goes from being the one who was wanted to the one who's wondering. The Stoic man doesn't just retreat, he rebuilds. His silence isn't passive, it's active. It's charged with purpose. He doesn't manipulate emotions. He triggers them through self-mastery. And here's what psychology confirms. Uncertainty creates intrigue. Scarcity creates value, and mystery fuels attraction. While you're growing, healing, and evolving without reaching out, once she's cycling through emotions she never expected. Regret, nostalgia, anxiety, and desire. But remember, none of this works if it's fake. If you're just waiting for her return, you've missed the lesson. This only works when your transformation is real, when you'd still become this man even if she never looks back. Because what pulls her back isn't your old self, it's the you she didn't believe you could become. Now speak out and comment below. I disappear to evolve, not to be chased. Number 5. Pain is the portal, but only if you walk through it. You think the pain will break you. That ache in your chest, that silence in your phone, it feels unbearable. But here's the truth you need to face. This pain is your invitation. It's not the end of your story. It's the beginning of your rebirth. You must disappear, not to punish her, not to manipulate her, but to begin your own transformation. You vanish because your presence has been weakened by need, and only in silence can you rebuild your gravity. Start with your mind. Dive into Stoic philosophy, not for distraction, but for direction. Let Marcus Aurelius speak to your wounds. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. That heartbreak you feel, it's not in your way. It is your way. Then shift to your body. Hit the gym not for revenge, not to post shirtless photos, but to regain discipline, clarity, and respect for your temple. When your muscles burn, when sweat hits the ground, it's not about the gains. It's about reclaiming your will. Reconnect with your circle. The friends you ghosted during the relationship, call them. Build brotherhood again. You weren't meant to suffer in isolation, but you were meant to suffer with purpose. Now pick up what you dropped. That guitar collecting dust. That business idea you shelved. That trail you stopped hiking. passion is not a luxury, it's your medicine. It's how you remind yourself that your identity was never just a boyfriend. And finally, your mission. Pour into your work, your calling, your craft. Become so focused on purpose that the thought of her becomes a whisper, not a wound. Not because you hate her, but because you've made peace with the past and chosen progress. Here's the twist. When you truly live this way, something radical happens. You stop caring if she returns, not out of bitterness, but because you've become a man whose life is too full, too rich, too grounded to orbit around someone else's approval. That's the Stoic path. And it's not for every man, but it's the only path that turns pain into power. Now, speak out and comment below. I turn my pain into power, not pity. Number 6, your final choice, desperation or discipline. Right now, you stand at a fork in the road. One path leads you back into desperation, where every text you send, every story you post is a silent cry for validation. The other path, it's narrow, steep, and cold, but it leads to something far more powerful. Self-respect. You already know what desperation looks like. It's you checking her profile at midnight. It's the urge to accidentally bump into her. It's thinking that if you could just explain yourself one more time, maybe she'd come back. But she won't. Not like this. Because women are not drawn to men who chase, they're drawn to men who change. The Stoic path is different. It demands that you stop asking, will she come back, and start asking, what kind of man am I becoming? You stop trying to control the outcome and start mastering your reaction. Epictetus said it best, no man is free who is not master of himself. That's the mission now, not to win her back, but to win yourself back. And this shift changes everything. You become a man who doesn't beg, a man who doesn't broadcast pain for sympathy, a man who lets go of who he was and ruthlessly commits to who he is meant to be. Because when you choose stoicism over suffering, you rise above the emotional chaos. You embrace amor fati, you love the breakup, the rejection, the silence, because they're sculpting you. Each unanswered call is sharpening your resolve. Each lonely night is forging your independence. And maybe, just maybe, she notices. Maybe one day she looks at you and sees a stranger. Stronger, calmer, distant. Not the man who once needed her, but the man she now wants. That's the paradox. The moment you stop needing her is the moment she starts needing your presence again. But by then, you won't be waiting. You'll be moving. So now the choice is yours. Do you keep begging for a second chance? Or do you give yourself the first real chance you've ever had by becoming the man she'll regret losing and you'll be proud of becoming? Now speak out and comment below. I refuse to beg for love, I earn my peace. Number 7, she was never the goal you are. You keep thinking she was the destination, that if you could just win her back, everything would be okay again. But that's a lie your pain whispers when you're weak. She was never the prize. You are. It's not about getting her back. It's about getting you back, the man who was once focused, grounded, and present. Somewhere along the way, you gave your power away. You let her opinion become your identity, her presence become your purpose. And when she left, you felt like you lost everything. But the truth is, you only lost what was never really yours. Stoicism teaches you this hard truth. You don't own people, not their love, their attention, or their promises. You only own your responses. You only control your mindset. So when she walked away, it wasn't a test of whether she still loved you. It was a test of whether you would still love yourself. And that's what most men miss. They beg, plead, spiral because they think without her, they are less. But what makes you a man is not who stays. It's who you become when they go, when no one is watching, when it's just you, your thoughts, and the silence. So instead of fighting for her, start fighting for the man you want to be. Build him from the ground up. Craft a life so strong, so rich with purpose, that love is no longer a need, but a bonus. When you stop chasing what left and start becoming what lasts, something powerful shifts. You no longer look outward for approval. You look inward for direction. And that's when women, all women, start to feel the pull again. Not because you said the right thing, but because you became the right man. She wasn't the goal, she was the lesson. You are the reward. Now comment below, I am the prize, not the pursuit. Number 8. You're not alone, you're just being tested. Right now it feels like silence is your only companion. The nights are longer, the phone stays quiet, and every time you check her social media, a part of you breaks. You wonder if she's already moved on, if she's laughing with someone new while you're stuck trying to make sense of what happened. But let me tell you the truth, you're not alone, you're just being tested. This is the fire where real men are forged. Not in comfort, not in validation, but in the dark moments when no one claps for you. Stoicism doesn't teach you how to avoid pain. It teaches you how to endure it without letting it define you. Right now, you're in the crucible, and the question isn't, will she come back? It's, will you come back to yourself? The pain you feel isn't a punishment, it's an invitation to rise, an invitation to examine who you've been and who you now must become. When everything external is stripped away, her attention, her affection, your sense of control, what's left is raw, pure, and unfiltered. You. And that's exactly where your strength begins. You don't need to post quotes online to prove you're healing. You don't need to pretend you're okay. What you need is to rebuild privately and powerfully, to lean into solitude not as isolation but as incubation, because that silence you hate, it's shaping you. This is where you develop your edge. This is where you outgrow the version of you that needed her to feel valuable. And yes, it's lonely. But that loneliness isn't a life sentence. It's a phase, a proving ground. The man you'll become on the other side will never beg for love again. He'll never settle for half-hearted attention. He'll walk with presence, speak with clarity and love, from strength, not lack. Don't numb it. Don't run from it. Sit with it. Breathe through it. This is your training ground, and no, most men won't make it through, but you didn't come this far to break. You came this far to build. Now speak out and comment below. I don't escape the pain, I grow through it. Number 9. She lost a boy, you're becoming a man. The moment she walked away, she didn't just leave you behind. She left behind the version of you that was still seeking permission to be strong. And while she may think she's done with you, what she doesn't realize is that she just triggered your transformation. You're not here to win her back. You're here to win yourself back. That boy inside you, the one who panicked, who begged, who needed her love to feel worthy, is dying. And in his place, a man is emerging. A man who no longer reacts, but responds. Who no longer needs to be chosen because he's already chosen himself. Stoicism teaches that nothing outside your mind can steal your peace unless you give it permission. She didn't take anything from you. She simply removed a mirror that was reflecting back your own insecurities, and now you're forced to look within. That's where the war is. That's where the growth is. You're no longer playing by the old rules. You're not texting her when you're lonely. You're not lurking in her likes hoping she'll notice. You're not weaponizing silence or pretending you're okay. You're doing something far more radical. You're healing without making it her responsibility. Because you've seen the truth now. Love isn't about attachment, it's about alignment. And she may not be ready for the man you're becoming, not yet, maybe never. But that's not your concern. Your concern is with the next step, the next rep, the next version of yourself that's just waiting for you to arrive. And if you stay on this path, if you remain grounded in your own worth, focused on your own growth, something strange will happen. One day, without you even trying, she'll feel it. She won't be able to name it, but she'll feel the absence of that desperate boy and the presence of a man who no longer needs her approval. That's when the game changes. But by then, it won't even be about her. It'll be about you. Not the man she wanted, but the man you were born to be. Now comment below. She lost a boy, I'm becoming a man. Number 10. You're not waiting, you're evolving. You may feel like you're in a pause, stuck in the silence she left behind. But this isn't limbo, this is the forge. And every second you're not chasing her is another second the fire is shaping you into something rarer, stronger, more immovable. You're not waiting for her to change her mind. You're not standing by the phone hoping it lights up. That's not who you are anymore. What you're doing is building, quietly, ruthlessly, brick by brick. You're stacking discipline over distraction, mission over memory, power over pity. She might think you're still frozen in time, stuck in the heartbreak she handed you. Let her think that. Because while she's scrolling, you're sculpting. While she's reminiscing, you're refining. While she's moving on from who you were, you're becoming someone. She's never met a man who doesn't ask to be wanted but dares to be undeniable. Stoicism isn't about pretending you don't feel. It's about mastering what you do with the pain. You feel everything, but you bow to nothing. You've stopped asking why it happened and started asking what it's shaping in you. That's evolution. That's alchemy. You no longer seek closure. You are the closure. You no longer post quotes for her to see. You live the kind of life that needs no explanation. You no longer wake up wondering if she misses you. You wake up wondering how much closer you are to becoming unshakable. This isn't silence. This is strategy. This isn't waiting. This is war with every weak part of you that still thinks love is about being accepted instead of being respected. So you don't rush, you don't beg, you don't prove. You evolve. And when the day comes, and it will, when she looks over her shoulder to see who you've become, she won't find the man she left behind. She'll find someone she no longer knows how to reach. Now comment below. I'm not waiting, I'm evolving. You came here wanting her back. Now you understand. You don't get her back by proving anything to her. You get her back by proving everything to yourself. You go silent. You go inward. You sharpen your body, your mind, your path. Not for her, but for you. And when she comes back, because yes, she will, she won't recognize you. Not because you've changed to please her, but because you've upgraded into the man she thought she could walk away from. And if she doesn't come back, even better, because now you don't need her anymore. If you're done waiting and ready to rebuild in silence, like this video, subscribe and comment below. I become better in her absence. Stay grounded, stay silent, because the man who doesn't chase becomes the one they chase.